This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn here in New York. Eddie, it's good to see you. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I don't like all these shows are kind of just flowing into one. So obviously we've got Katie Taylor tonight, the ring card on DAZN tomorrow night. We've got the weigh-in now. Then we've got a press conference for November the 15th. Then we've got this sparring thing later on. It's Box Raw event or something. And then we've got the Taylor fight, and then so I'm just basically told where to be, and then they just wheel me out, and I'm here, and I'm excited, loving life, loving boxing, and loving this crazy world we're in at the moment.
I mean, you seem to catch a few unexpected strays yesterday at the press conference from Rick Reno.
Did I? Oh yeah, no, that's like Rick's thing. Rick's up there to kind of create a little bit of drama. So he's like, look, before I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. I'm like, whatever. But it's good because it looks like it got Jack Catterall a big fight off the back of it. So when I went to, I've been pushing Jack Catterall with His Excellency for a long time. And obviously, it's just a weird chain of events where His Excellency kind of criticises Jack Catterall and Harlem Eubank. And then Rick Reno criticises them. And then Jack Catterall posts and says, I'm really sorry that this guy's not happy with me. HE found it hilarious. And then I said, you've got to give Catterall a fight now. Like, he's been having a go at Rick Reno, your man. And then now he says, you're confirmed for Riyadh season later in the year. So it's all worked out really well. I've never met anyone like Turki Al-Sheikh. And people say, oh, get out of his arse. I don't always agree with everything he does, but he's the funniest bloke I've ever met. And he likes, I've said before and I'll say it again, he likes fuckery, right? So how do you go from criticising Jack Catterall to confirming that he's on a Riyadh season card this year? But we're happy, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun and games at the presser today as well with Haney and Norman, and they like that, they want that. They loved the Berlanga stuff yesterday. They think that's amazing because it creates a lot of noise. So it's the world we're in right now.
Let's just touch on some of that stuff. Obviously Shakur, your man, William Zepeda. A lot of people are just expecting Shakur to really stand out in this fight. Do you feel like people are maybe overlooking the challenge of William Zepeda?
I think it's the type of fight where you can show greatness. That's what I said. Like, it's a good style to face Shakur, but it's also a good style for Shakur, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I guess the way to try and beat Shakur is put pressure on him. Don't allow him to have time to think, all that kind of stuff. Easier said than done, but that's the kind of things Zepeda can do. He's got the speed, he does have power, he has tremendous punch output, but Shakur's just a master. And I just feel like with his ability, with his IQ, this is the type of style and the type of fight that you can see exactly how great he is. And the answer for me is very great. And he seems super switched on and dialed in for this performance, and it's not going to be easy because Zepeda's a great fighter, but I just feel like Shakur will look very good tomorrow night.
In terms of his deal with Matchroom, is this the last of the fights? So confident he'll sign a new deal?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to what you got. Like, it's the same with Canelo. I think these guys, if they had their choice, would always come with Matchroom and us, but if we don't have the right deal for them, they might not. Do you know what I mean? So, His Excellency's confirmed that, guys like Richardson, Hitchens and Shakur, that's coming through Matchroom. But at the same time, maybe they don't want to be on a Riyadh season card, but maybe they want a big fight in the USA, which we can deliver for them as well. I was talking to Oscar yesterday. I still think the Floyd Schofield fight is a big fight. Those two. Who knows what's going to happen with Tank, with everything. For me, we've got to be looking at all options for Shakur, not just rely on Saudi Arabia. He is a big star in the US. We have a big output deal in the US. We have to provide great content and shows for DAZN in the US. And we can do that with Shakur.
Taylor Serrano free tonight, Eddie. Obviously, Katie looking to make it a hat-trick. Do you expect to see it be round 21, or do you expect a different approach?
I mean, look, for me, I said to her last time out, can we just go out and just school Serrano? I mean, you can outbox her, we know that. And she's like, yeah, but she can't help herself. And I think the reality is it'll just be a case of when it catches fire. Last time, Serrano put it on her straight away and didn't allow her to box and move. I want to see Katie just outbox her. If we have to go to war later on, that's all right. But I don't want to go to war from the first or second round, because that's going to be a harder fight for Katie Taylor. But Serrano will be trying to apply the pressure, a bit like Zepeda will be doing against Shakur, So Katie's Katie. Every fight's going to be thrilling. Every fight's going to be edge of your seat. you know, we got everything crossed, and I believe she'll make it 3-0 tonight.
Eddie, over the last few years, we've had a number of questions around foul tests in the sport. Francisco Rodriguez Jr. had an adverse finding after his fight with Galal Yafai. I think most people will agree, obviously seeing the news on that and how brutal of a fight it was for Galal. It was kind of a hard pill to swallow. What did you make of it all?
Yeah, it's really frustrating, annoying, upsetting. You know, I feel like I have to have a balanced approach on this, but at the same time, my man's been hard done by. I always feel like, and you've heard me say it time and time again, you know, like, I think, you know, I can't be so biased for my guys when in this situation. The reality is he needs an opportunity to explain how that got in his system. This is a little bit different. The fight took place, and the fight night test shows that when he was in the ring with Galal Yafai, he had a performance-enhancing drug in his system, right? Therefore, one, this is horrendous and horrible for Galal Yafai, who had to fight a guy who had that in his system. And two, we must push, regardless of whether he's guilty or not guilty in terms of his intentional digestion of this supplement. It was in him. So it should be a no contest. Galal Yafai should be mandatory challenger for the World Championship, and the result should be overturned. He has to be allowed to go through his process. You know, maybe, I don't know how it got there. That's not my business. What I know is that my man had to fight a guy who had that in his system. And on the night, what we witnessed was a performance that was like, you know, Sonny Edwards' comments and stuff like that. Like, Rodriguez is a great fighter. We saw a performance that was like, not just rolling back the years, the work rate, everything was just like completely baffling. So of course, people are going to point fingers. Let the fighter fight his case. But in this situation, it's a bit different because we know it was in his system when he was in that ring. And we've got to look at ways in which we can try to find that out, even on fight day or the day before, because we paid for extra VADA testing. He was tested in camp, he passed that test. He failed on fight night, but by then it's too late. And one day something bad will happen to a fighter and we can't stop it with an after-fight test, even though that's still important. So if that makes any sense at all, but it's kind of like we want to know when they step through the ring, have they got anything in their system? And that's very hard to do with the lab testing, sending the samples away, and the time it takes.
Just very quickly, Eddie, Anthony Kokachi out of a Ray Ford fight, a replacement opponent lined up?
Yeah, there will be. We agreed that with His Excellency last night, so Ray's out in a good fight against an American. It'll be announced, I think, today or tomorrow. You know, Anto, I've had backwards and forwards. It was a bit rushed for him. They weren't mad on the fight, and maybe the fight just came around too quickly for him. Picked up a little niggle. And see what he does. I guess he might fight in Belfast, but for us, obviously, Crocker Donovan announced yesterday that it will be for a world title. No doubt, date announced yet, no venue announced yet, but that's one of the biggest all-Irish fights of all time, and that'll be a big fight for both guys to win a world championship in the 147-pound division. Just
last one from me. Jake Paul's adamant he's going to face Anthony Joshua next year. Do you see that happen?
After speaking to His Excellency last night, I'm actually, in this mad world we live in, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, you know, our focus is to fight Tyson Fury, but he needs a fight before then. If that's Jake Paul and you guys want that fight, I know the numbers would be massive, the world would want to see it. I spoke to AJ about it. He says, if you want me to flatten Jake Paul, I'll do it. And I know there'll be a lot of happy people, but that's what Mr. Paul dines off. If we can do business with MVP, they're doing great at the moment. In this crazy world, you never know, baby.
Eddie, thank you. Cheers.